Never waste this invitation again. If you have ever woken up between 3 and 5 in the morning, eyes open, body exhausted, and your mind too alert to fall back asleep, you may have called it insomnia. But what if it isn't? What if this awakening is not a problem, but an invitation? There is a reason these hours appear so often throughout biblical history, and ignoring that may cost more than a few hours of sleep. There is something almost no one tells you. The enemy does not want you awake between 3 and 5 in the morning. He prefers you unconscious, distracted, but when you wake up during this window, especially without an apparent reason, it is rarely random. It is not just the body. Many times, it is the spirit being called to attention. Throughout Scripture, these hours appear as moments of watchfulness, periods when the world grows quiet and heaven remains attentive. In 1 Samuel chapter 3, the young Samuel is awakened repeatedly during the night. At first, he does not understand. He confuses the voice of God with the voice of a man. Only later does he realize it was not an interruption, but a calling. And this still happens today. The problem is that when we wake up at this hour, our reaction is usually automatic. We grab the phone. We check the time. We scroll the screen, or we start worrying about the next day, about exhaustion, about insomnia. Rarely do we stop to consider that God may be trying to get our attention. There is a powerful spiritual principle here. When the world is sleeping, heaven is awake. When external noise decreases, internal clarity increases. That is exactly why these hours are spiritually sensitive. The Bible calls them the watches of the night, times when God historically reveals himself, gives direction, protects, and speaks more intimately. So the question is not, why did I wake up? But what do I do now? The first thing is simple, but it requires a decision. Pray immediately. Do not wait for sleep to return. Do not grab your phone. Do not overanalyze. The moment you realize you are awake, turn it into prayer. Even if it is short, sincere, almost a whisper. God, I am here. I am listening. Jesus did this. Mark 1:35 says he got up very early, while it was still dark, to pray. Not because it was more spiritual, but because he knew silence protects listening. Before the world wakes up, before demands appear, there is a sacred space where the soul can breathe. This prayer does not need to be elaborate. Speak to God as if you were talking to someone sitting beside you. Say what feels heavy. Ask why you woke up. Sometimes he wants to comfort you, sometimes to warn you, sometimes simply to be with you. And there is something important here. When you pray immediately, you take spiritual authority over that moment. Psalm 91 says, "We will not fear the terror of the night." Prayer moves you from being a victim of exhaustion to someone who discerns what is happening. After praying, do something many people no longer know how to do. Stay silent and listen. Most people talk to God constantly, but almost never create space to hear him. In 1 Kings 19, God does not speak to Elisha in the strong wind, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fire. He speaks in a gentle whisper, and that whisper almost never competes with noise. These hours before dawn are precious because there are no notifications, no demands, no voices fighting for your attention. In this silence, God may bring someone to your mind to pray for. He may reveal something you are not seeing. He may unlock a solution that never came during the day. Or he may simply remind you that you are not alone. Be still and know that I am God, says Psalm 46. Stillness is not the absence of action. It is a weapon against chaos. After praying and listening, do the third thing many people ignore, but which completely changes the spiritual atmosphere. Declare the word out loud, not just in your thoughts, but with your voice. There is power in spoken words. Revelation says we overcome by the word of our testimony. When you declare scripture in the early hours of the morning, you align the spiritual environment with God's truth. Declare Psalm 23, even softly, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Declare Philippians 4:13, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Declare promises that directly confront what you are facing. The enemy works in silence, confusion and secrecy. When you proclaim the word, you break that cycle and remind yourself in the spiritual realm who is in control. And if, after all this, sleep returns, rest. Psalm 3 says, I lie down and sleep. I wake again, because the Lord sustains me. Even your rest is under God's care. So the next time you wake up between 3 and 5 in the morning, do not panic. Do not run to your phone. Remember, you may not have woken up by accident. You may have been invited to an encounter. Pray immediately. Listen attentively. Declare the word with authority. God may be calling you into a deeper level of relationship, using the very silence you have always tried to avoid. Do not waste these moments. Some encounters with God do not happen in daylight, and maybe this awakening is less about losing sleep and more about gaining discernment. You did not wake up without purpose. You woke up because you were called. May God continue to bless you with brotherly love. Minutes of Grace.